I do remember when like they would go out, like they made like a Barbie game or something, and I had a friend that like went to to the extent of actually like going through the entire game, and it's like, wow.
That's devotion.
Yeah, well, even better, the game was better than it had any right to be. So it's like, okay.
And then Double Dragon Neon.
Oh my goodness, that was so much fun.
Which was both good and not without flaw.
Oh yeah, like I said, it was broke as all hell, but like it was a lot of fun.
Like that bonus stage.
Yep.
Well, it could be worse. That bonus stage could have taken us as long as it took me and Matt to beat Tubular in Super Mario World.
Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure that was like 2 episodes, maybe 3.
Oh wow.
Which is weird, because like I don't remember having quite as much trouble with that stage.
I just most remember when you've done like you've gone into yakety sax on those videos. I think it was Banjo-Kazooie that you had to do that on.
Yeah, every time.
Trying to sequence break or something.
Yeah, anytime Matt wanted to sequence break.
Okay.
It only ended up breaking our time.
Breaking our clocks.
Yes. Sorry, Matt, but I warned you. Then I'm one of those people that just doesn't like sequence breaking in general. I'm more of a like play the game as intended kind of person.
Well, I like it as a fun experiment. Like every now and then I'll sit down when the game's done quick marathons happen, and I'll watch some of those. Not just because first of all, I kind of like watching those speedruns, especially when they break the game completely. But I also like, just sometimes they'll do like nice nostalgia, or they'll give me some insight as to next time I play the game, maybe something that I might want to do. Like I haven't done this yet, but do you remember Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow?
I know it exists and what it is, but I never actually played it.
Okay, that's a good game. But basically, I would like to try and. I found that like basically he did some. I'd have to go back and watch it now, but like the guy that was playing Maui Mallard did some crazy stuff with it. Like I remember the ninja stages where you first become a ninja and have to learn how to use it to be one of the hardest parts of the game, and he just kind of blew through it. And I was like, wow, okay.
The days when Disney games had, well, not just Disney games, but licensed games were way better than they are now.
Or at the very least had a much higher possibility of being good.
Like,
not that all of them were not good, because like, have you ever played the Super Nintendo version of Bebe Skids?
No, I vaguely remember the movie.
Good,
because wasn't like who the fuck what was that guy's name?
Robin something.
The guy who sang, was it Funky Comatina?
Yeah, I can't remember his actual name right now. I'd have to look it up.
He voiced like the baby or something.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about, Tone Loc.
Yeah, wait, that was Tone Loc?
Yeah, it was Tone Loc.
Oh.
He also did, he had a Wild Thing song.
Oh yeah,
too.
Wild Thing.
Yeah.
That thing that most people will probably remember him for.
Exactly. That's the one that everybody's gonna remember, is Wild Thing. Yeah, he's Tone Loc, and but the game was just so bad. Like the game didn't make any sense. First of all, like you could play it and understand what was actually happening in the game. and you know, you would get these weapons, and the weapons wouldn't actually do anything. It would actually be easier to beat things without the weapons than it would be to use the weapons.
Isn't that basically like the movie itself?
Well, the movie was actually, I recall it being at least somewhat hilarious, but having like watched some other stuff about it later, that was a really dumb movie.
Yeah, it was about like kids wanting to go to an amusement park, I think.
Yeah, it was. Basically, it was based off of a joke from somebody's from this guy's comedy routine. The joke was that he's dating this girl, and the girl leaves him to deal with her kids, who turn out to be like the worst kids on the face of the planet Earth. They're just really awful kids. And like to the point where after the movie came out, my friends would refer to people as Bebe's kids. So, you know, that was the joke on which it started. And so the guy's got his actual kids, and he and these Bebe's kids go to the theme park. And the theme park is like the most restrictive theme park ever. And they have like a whole huge list of rules of things that they can't do.
And these kids do all of the things they're not supposed to do.
They do all of the things.
Ready for your shot? Let's up the dose.
Like I said, the premise is decent enough, but it's like the actual movie is just, like I said, you basically, it's a movie based off of a one-note joke. That's that you can already tell what the problem is based off of that.
It's based off the guy's comedy sketch.
Yeah, it's based off a guy's comedy sketch. It's a 90-minute movie based off of a single comedy sketch that probably ran for maybe a minute or two. It kind of reminds me of one thing I found out that there was a movie that featured Rodney Dangerfield as a dog.
Rodney Doverfield, I believe it was called.
Something like that.
Rover Dangerfield, I think.
We'll be right back after these.
Yeah, I can't remember what the movie was actually called. I just remember, like, I saw a thing about it, and basically, it was not good, and it didn't make any sense.
It was basically just him as a dog.
Yeah, and like I said, there was many points in the movie where they could have done something interesting, and they chose not to. I think that's the thing that makes me mad when I look at any kind of story and they have an opportunity to do something cool, and they looked at it and they just decided to go in a different direction, and it's like they deliberately went the wrong way.
So, like, the problem with video game movies?
Yeah, in some cases.
Like, well, we got this relatively serviceable plot, but, you know, let's put our own spin on it.
Yep. Dude, have you ever heard of the Gaming Historian?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, well they're YouTubers. He is a YouTuber, and he's done various little pieces on different bits and pieces of video game history. Like there was this story about how Nintendo tried to take on Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, for rentals. I remember that.
For video game rentals, and then later on took on Tengen for the for them defeating the lockout chip.
And then they also tried to take on Galoob for the Game Genie.
Yeah, and lost. And basically they
Hiroshi Yamauchi, everybody. Or Hiroshi Yamauchi.
It wasn't just him, it was Howard Lincoln too.
Oh man, way to ruin my memories of Howard Lincoln. Mostly because of the Howard and Ness comics.
You know how Howard Lincoln? Did you know Howard Lincoln was a lawyer?
I remember I remember hearing the story about how he basically just said like "fuck you" to the court about something. I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I'd have to double check on that one. But basically, what I was getting back to what I was actually trying to talk about, my tangents. There was a gaming historian video recently about the Mario Brothers movie. That was a fun movie. It was a fun story, let me tell you.
Like how Miyamoto thought it was too much like Mario Brothers, for example.
It wasn't the least bit like Mario Brothers. And actually, there was more to it. Like, not only was it not a good movie, it was kind of a nightmare to film and be involved in.
Yeah, remember like Bob Hoskins and
That's all, folks.
Dennis Hopper.
Yep, Dennis Hopper.